I'm just saying when you go overboard, or you go like,
Yeah.
let's say, or you take somebody's character, or you go like, the game is the game. I don't know, whatever, about made a bad pass, or like, oh my God, he threw the ball in the stands, like, whatever. He did it. Okay, cool. But what I'm saying is when you go overboard, then all of a sudden now it becomes like a little bit more, and then you get attacked on Twitter, and then you go like, no, that's not what I mean, and then now you gotta like backtrack for no reason because you just didn't, you just wasn't professional. And about the Pacers game as well, like, it was great. Like for me personally, I got they won in play-ins and now they were great. Even now in the playoffs, like they were great. I think the most important thing for me was that we both understand that it's part of the game. You know, you win, you lose some, you win some. You know, like this is the difference between winners and losers. They literally they're both the same person.
Yeah.
It's just winners win most of the time,
Right.
and lose occasionally.
Right.
And losers lose all the time and win occasionally. That's all it is. So I think the point of the story of like each story, you know, you see Ant now like with the Denver Nuggets. You see like players like it's part of the game. That's what grows the game. Now if he gets over the line, you see the situation with Isaiah Stewart and
We thought it was borderline over the line. I felt like
Yeah.
it a little bit that game. But you know, here's the deal though. I love guys who play with a little chip. I do. So
You have to. This is the game.
yeah, it's like that's part of being a competitor, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to discourage that. But if it gets to, there's a difference between playing with a chip and being disrespectful,
Oh yeah.
right?
100%.
So if it starts bordering disrespectful,
100%.
then I think that deserves a call out.
Yeah, no, 100%. But you see, like, it just don't try to create some. That's what I'm trying to say. Basically, is like don't try to create something out of nothing. Like, don't try to be like, oh my God, these guys hate each other when they actually don't hate each other. Oh my God, look what he's doing. Like, it's okay. Like, imagine if we were out there and playing a pickup game. Guys talk crazy. I mean, obviously it's the NBA, and you can be like, okay, pick up an NBA. But I'm saying like. Some guys, that's their character. They're not doing it on purpose. That's their demeanor, you know. But going back to before, I was like, okay, but you've called the WNBA games. Is it harder WNBA or basketball? Is this the same thing?
Is it hard? What do you mean? Is it?
I'm saying like, I'll give an example. Do you find yourself? I mean, obviously, basketball is basketball. Any game you call, but. Like with the amount of stuff that happens in the NBA and outside of the sidelines and things in the bench and things there, like, do you think it's more things going on in the NBA than the WNBA, or is it the same thing? It's just, and you don't.
We're talking about outside the court.
Yeah.
It's starting to be that way.
It's starting to be that way. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got more characters and you got more coverage, right? So you add characters to the game and you add coverage to the game, and you got more interesting things to talk about. You got, I don't want to say the word drama because it's almost too dramatic.
Yeah, it is.
It just makes everything more interesting, you know? I love seeing the growth of the game. It's awesome. And, you know, being a women's basketball player where I grew up, Thanasis, and like, when I grew up, I could only watch men's basketball on TV. You know, the only time women's basketball was on TV is when it was like the Final Four, you know, and it was always like the same four teams. And so I had role models that had to be men because that's all I watched. You know, one of my first role models was actually Scott Skiles. So, so I don't know if people in Milwaukee appreciate that being the coach here, but he played at Michigan State, and I grew up in the state of Michigan, and so I just appreciated the way that he played. You talk about a chip on the shoulder, like he had the socks pulled up. He was always talking trash to everyone, and I just appreciated his toughness and his competitiveness. But I didn't have a choice, you know, like it had to be some sort of male athlete that I looked up to. So now when you see commercials, right, where they're now crossing over with NBA players and WNBA players, like I love that. And I give credit to, I won't throw the brands out there because again, they're not paying me, but.
No, but it's credit to the companies, credit to the league that's pushing this. But
it's like, you're not going to not buy a car because you see a WNBA player and an NBA player on that commercial, you know? You're not going to buy chips, you know, like because you see a WNBA player with an NBA player. It's only going to add to it and broaden the consumers who are going to be interested in that product. And so to see that transformation is awesome because that was not even a choice or an option when I was growing up.
Man, it's changed so much. I'm so excited. You know, I had Enrique Gumbawale on the pod.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, and I'm trying to like, this podcast is gonna have everybody. Like, I'm gonna have everybody
You
from this one.
okay, so this is why I love being on here, because like I can't wait for your off the wall questions. Like you're gonna be like, "Hey Lisa, did you know that
It's coming.
that
It's coming.
snakes
It's gonna be.
have
It's gonna
5
be.
hearts?" And
Yeah,
I'll
it's
be
gonna
like,
be
"No, Thanasis, tell me more about that." But no, I mean, you get like players,
Mm-hmm.
you get coaches, you get entertainers, you get broadcasters. You're probably gonna get like accountants and
So
restaurant owners and whatever.
So it's called Thanalysis. So basically, Thanalysis is my analysis of the world, right? So now what you're basically getting, it's a way through my lens and my life to who people I'm interested with and I'm interviewing. So you actually might this season on Thursdays. I'm trying to still push her to do it. You might get my mom actually in the podcast, and she's gonna talk a little bit about how, what's the 60 as a mom, like growing all these guys and nurturing these guys into be. Not NBA players, forget about NBA players, just being part of us and just like, is it discipline? Is it this? What other factors? What comes into it? But the other thing is they get to learn from me, but I get to learn from my guests. That's why I keep asking, like, they might be simple, like, how do you call this game out? But I really don't know,
Yeah.
And now with WNBA, which is very, very excited, I want to get a lot of players from WNBA. And I'm guilty of this. Like, I didn't really watch a lot of WNBA. Not because I'm not here, but I'm not even from here.
Well, you got to start this
Yeah,
summer.
yeah.
This is the best summer to start.
I'm already on it.
Everybody who's not even a basketball fan now is watching the
Yeah.
WNBA
I'm already
now.
on it.
So you got to
it's
get
over
on
with
board.
now. But, I'll like watching highlights. And the only people I really was watching, like, Enrique, Connie Spark, like, and my friends, like, Brilliant Hartley, or like, like AJ Wilson. Like, I have, like, people who I actually, like, knew and met somewhere. I'd be like, oh, let me go watch her highlights. Let me go watch her game. Oh, she's playing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm excited. I'm really excited about WNBA. But I want to ask you the next question. Okay. So if you could sit down, right, would you say which one was more physical, the NBA or the WNBA or the NBA?
It's a different kind of physicality.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
they're both physical.
Yeah,
they're both physical.
But why do I ask that? Do you think trash talk in the NBA and NBA is different?
Yeah. But I think the WNBA is going to get there. So this is why I hesitate with all your. Let me just say this. This is why I hesitate with all your NBA versus WNBA questions, because I forget what year we are in the WNBA, but it's like year 26 or 27 now, and the NBA is like year 76. We just had the 75th anniversary. Yeah. So let's compare the NBA in year 26 or 27. To what the WNBA is
100%,
now. And
100%.
so it's hard for me to say, well, it's this, and this, because to me, we're still comparing apples to oranges, and it's hard to say, well, the physicality's not there, or the attention, or, because the WNBA is building and it's getting there.
Yeah, no, but that's why I'm asking. I'm not saying it no in no regards of like WNBA versus NBA, this is the NBA, but I'm asking like, okay, like, because, okay, let's say example, like in future I have a daughter or I have like a niece or whatever, and they go to WNBA, right? Mm-hmm. And we try to coach her like, hey, a bunch of uncles who played in the NBA, you got a bunch of uncles who play professional sports, and we go like, hey, like, we want you to be aggressive. You got to play like us, like how we play, like be aggressive and be your demeanor and, like give everything you have out there and stuff like that. But like, does that translate to the WNBA? That's what I'm asking. Like, does that translate? Like,
oh gosh, yeah. If you look,
we talk
about ballers being ballers.
Yeah.
If you're a baller, you're a baller.
Yeah.
If you're a competitor, you're a competitor.
Okay.
And that's how it works.
Yeah, I'm just asking because I don't want to like in the case be like, that doesn't really.
If you have a daughter, you raise your daughter to be a competitor, right? And you let everything else take care of themselves. Okay. I think you got like a competitive gene in your family, right?
Yeah, we do. Like that's part of our trait, DNA wise. But like, I'm asking because like a lot of people don't see that in women's sports. I'm the opposite, but I just want you to confirm this for me because I'm like, no, it's the same thing, and you gotta be for like any sport you play. It doesn't matter women's, men's.
It's funny you bring that up though. There actually is a WNBA commercial out right now where it plays to that, where there's a person who's narrating it, and she's like, all the new fans, welcome to the WNBA. We like to say that, we're friendly with our competitors, and then it cuts to a shot with like Asia Wilson coming at you, and
I love this.
We're good sports, and like there's another shot of someone else going at someone else, and then hitting game winners and all that. So, yeah, man, like competition's competition.
I like that.
It's not gender based. It's not like you got to hold someone back because, they're a female or anything. Like let them go. Let the reins loose and let them go.
It has to become international. Like, I think one of the things with the NBA as well became international. Like, how many people, like, how many, like, women in Greece, like, people all around the world, like, love basketball. They want to be a part of it. And they dream to come to the WNBA. Yeah. And one more thing, like, I wish the season was longer because the off season for us, when we leave, I mean, we all, like, we haven't seen our families and it's hard to go to the games. But if the games are even like a longer season and we can go there and as WNBA players, like, we're there. Like, imagine this, we're playing in Washington. Yeah. It's the Wizards. Yeah. And like, we're there 2 days, right?
You want to go watch the Mystics play?
What? I'm there. Why would I? I'm bored. I'm in my room, but I'm not doing anything. I'm going to the game.
Yeah.
I'm there. Of course, I don't know what it costs and stuff like this, but I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's our brand. We're all together.
True. But then you get into, like, it competes with the college schedules with both men's and women's college basketball. You're competing against the NBA. There's a window there where there's fewer sports going on in the summer. So I think, especially in its fledgling years, that it's set up for more success. Like, you're competing against golf, racing, baseball, really. I mean, now, like, football is starting to get into, like, some summer leagues and stuff. But there's fewer things to compete with that allows it to have more rating success.
I agree. I agree with that. But at the same time, I have a theory as well that, the NBA is in the same time as baseball. Like, finals at the same time as MLB and NFL and the 5 major sports. We all collide at some point together, right? With the NFL.
You're right.
Everybody. But the NBA doesn't care because the only thing they care about is growth.
But not everyone's going to Greece, who's an NBA player.
No, 100%. But I'm saying, like, why do I say that? Because, like, in some point, if you want to grow the product, you don't care. Same way, planes, 12 o'clock games. You know why 12? I know why games are 12 o'clock? Yeah. Because people keep saying, like, 12 o'clock, for, like, schools and kids. It's actually 12 o'clock, not only for that. It's 12 o'clock for overseas. Right. Do you understand what happens overseas? When it's 12 o'clock here, overseas, it's 7 o'clock.
So it's perfect.
It's perfect.
It's prime time.
So now in Greece, I don't get to stay 4 o'clock in the morning. But you can only imagine the ratings. The whole country's watching the game.
Yeah. That is one difference with the WNBA, though. They do have noon games, one Eastern games. So
we just need more games.
Right.
I want more.
More
I want to watch more.
They're up to 40, but you want them to play a little bit deeper.
Like, and then I think that will help as well. Like, a lot of players won't go overseas if you have a longer season. And you obviously, longer season, what does longer season mean? More money, more games, more TV deals, more. They won't even go overseas. They will just stay here and play the whole season. You know what I mean? So that's something on.
But some of the marketing stuff, promotions, endorsements, that's going to change that. Elena Deladon, I think, was one of the first players to not go overseas and play because she was getting enough, like, Nike endorsements and all that and money in that way. Caitlin Clark, if she doesn't want to, I mean, she's already. She probably said, Asia Wilson. I mean, some of those players, they're starting to build up.
Yes.
Right? That branding piece that hopefully they get paid enough. And then hopefully eventually you get to the point where the WNBA season is extended, like, to your point, and the salary goes up, but you got to get the attendance. So that's why this year is such a big year for the league.
It was a situation that I read, and then I didn't know, that they said they fined the team. I don't know which team it was. To be honest with you, I don't want to misquote this or paraphrase this, but they fined the team because they were flying private or because they were flying not private.
It was a team out east,
Is that true?
It was true, yeah.